Have you ever been sick? Well, of course, we all have. It's not fun. But imagine, excuse me, that there was no one to care or to take care of you. Well, Jesus made it clear that that's not how it's supposed to be. Jesus said, care for the sick. Good morning and welcome to 755 Live. For about 5 minutes, you'll hear all about easy to remember soundbite versions of what Jesus said. And the point is to help you experience life to the fullest, the Jesus way. Today's Jesus Said comes from Matthew 25, 35, and 36, and we'll be reading today in the NLT translation. For I was hungry, and you fed me. I was thirsty, and you gave me a drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me into your home. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you cared for me. I was in prison, and you visited me. Now, these verses have such meaning. Several of these Jesus Said sound bites come from this part of Matthew 25. And this is Judgment Day, where sheep are separated from the goats, the good from the bad. And you know, sometimes I wonder why Jesus used the analogy of sheep and goats. Well, Jesus referred to himself as the good shepherd. He came to seek and save that which was lost. And that was a shepherd's job, to take care of the sheep. Well, is that our job too? Most people would say that my job now is preaching. I started preaching at age 12, literally at a church right here in Weatherford. They tore it down a couple of years ago, and I still have a brick from that church. A lot of memories there. But I also remember the subject of that first sermon. It was from Mark 2, 14 through 17. As he walked along, he saw Levi, son of Alphaeus, sitting at his tax collector's booth. Follow me and be my disciple, Jesus said to him. So Levi got up and followed him. Later, Levi invited Jesus and his disciples to his home as dinner guests, along with many tax collectors and other disreputable sinners. There were many people of this kind among Jesus' followers. But when the teachers of religious law, who were Pharisees, saw him eating with tax collectors and other sinners, they asked his disciples, why does he eat with such scum? When Jesus heard this, he told them, healthy people don't need a doctor. Sick people do. I have come to call not those who think they are righteous, but those who know they are sinners. So that was what my first sermon was based on. And the topic was how the church was supposed to be a hospital. And so I want to ask that question. Is the church a hospital today? If we are to live like Jesus and do what he said, do we? I mean, how do we treat the sick? And that's not just physical sickness. Sin is a spiritual sickness. It's a disease that leads to eternal death without the cure, the only cure, the good news of Jesus. But many times it seems like that we are fighting against those that are sinners rather than really caring for them. And that's not how the Good Shepherd took care of his lost sheep. In Ezekiel, it talks about what a bad shepherd looks like. Ezekiel 34:4, you have not strengthened the weak, healed the sick, bandaged the injured, brought back the strays, or sought the lost, but with force and harshness you have ruled over them. That's the picture of a bad shepherd from Ezekiel. Now, today's Jesus Said is also about caring for the physically sick, the elderly, the weak. And much of what we do in Christianity doesn't do anything about that. You know, over the past few years, I've really been astounded at the harshness of so-called Christians showing no compassion to even those who are sick. And sin sickness, sometimes the harshness is even worse. The Good Shepherd said that that's bad shepherding. That's goat behavior. The truth is, if you don't prioritize and take care of the weak, the sick, the hungry, the poor, the prisoner, the outcast, not only are you ignoring Jesus himself, but you are eternally lost. That's how important Jesus said this is. Jesus said, care for the sick. How can you put that into action today. Thank you so much for listening. If this is meaningful to you, it does mean a lot when you like it, when you share it, when you comment. I really appreciate you. I hope that you have an amazing day today. And I hope this time together has helped you live life to the fullest the Jesus way. And remember, follow Jesus today. Love first.